Alright, so this is going to be a little tutorial video on how I clean my Glocks. This gun right here is going to be my Glock 26. So as you can see, unloaded in the magazine. Nothing in the chamber here. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pull the trigger in a safe direction. Then I'm just going to slightly slide this back, pull down the two prongs that you see right here. There's going to be one on each side. Pull them down together, pull the slide forward. Then I'm just going to disassemble everything. So I have my recoil spring, my barrel, and little bottom portion here. So first thing I like to do, just kind of take a toothbrush, kind of scrape out just any of the excess from the shooting. Just a quick little brush here. Okay, once I'm done with that, get to the slide. Kind of do the same thing. Just get rid of a little of the extra stuff here. Alright, with the barrel, before I put any cleaner in it, I like to just kind of run this brush through. It's non-metallic. Just going to push it through a couple of times. Alright, once I get done with that, I like to use the cleaner. I'm kind of a fan of the hops here. Kind of clean, douse it on a few of the things here, inside, outside. Set it to the side, get to the slide, do the same thing. I like to do the outside also. Set that to the side. My recoil spring, same thing. And last, the bottom half of the gun, just do a few squirts. All right. Once we get done with that, I'll just choose any of the items first. So I'll go with the barrel. Same thing, I'll run this through a couple of times. Once I'm done with that, I'll go ahead and get a cleaning towel. Start with the outside. Get all the excess dirt, especially in the little crevices. Kind of a believer that if you take care of your firearm will take care of you. So I probably a little excessive. I clean after every day that I shoot. Just came back from a nice little session today. All right, once I get a good little portion of the outside, just to kind of save the rags. I know it's going to be dirty the first couple of passes through. So I'm going to use this little towel. I'm going to take the little piece that came with the Glock, shove the towel on the inside here. And then I'm going to go ahead and pass it through a couple of times through the barrel. A little difficult the first couple of passes, but kind of prefer it that way so I know it's getting every angle of the inside of the barrel. Spin it around a couple of times. Okay, run it through again. Now I'll just kind of slide it up and down, spin it around a little bit, just to ensure I'm getting everything inside. Once again, just do kind of the outside edges where some of the excess dirt from the inside of the barrel would have gotten in or surfaced out to. Now I'll set that rag aside. Get a second cleaning towel, nice and white one. Like to make sure that the barrel is nice and clean on the inside. This one will just be kind of a dry run through. Again, I'll spin it around. All right, and that to me is nice and clean. So again, I'm just gonna go through the outside. Everybody has their own ways. This just happens to be mine. This particular firearm, I have shot a little over 8,835 shots now through this barrel. And the only thing I've really replaced on this, on the Glock 26, is the recoil spring, and it's not that it was needed. I'm one of those few that believe in the steel guide rods rather than the standard OEM plastic rods. And you know, it's not to say that that plastic rod didn't hold up at all. It did a wonderful job. I just figure with a quality firearm, I'd like to have steel parts on the inside, kind of like they used to be back in the earlier days. Seems like as times pass, everybody's trying to cut corners when they're building their firearms, including Glock, and they resort to plastic pieces where they can. And I have yet to find any engineering reasoning behind it, so it just sort of leads me to believe that they're cutting cost in different areas. And again, they shoot, gosh, especially Glock 17s, I've heard stories where the original OEM recoil spring is shot over 100,000 times without a problem. So I'm not here to discredit those at all. It's just steel happens to be my preferred recoil spring. So speaking of, here it is here. Again, I'll just kind of do an outside wipe down of it, and then a little finicky, so use my fingernail, kind of dive it into the towel. Now I'll just kind of run down the recoil spring, getting the inside. Gonna do the same thing on the bottom half. And I'll just keep turning it until I run all the way to the bottom. Wipe down the outside. Little run around on the top here. Okay, that piece is done. Now here we are to the slide. I'll start off with the towel. Again, just using my fingernails. Just kind of dive it into the towel here. Getting into the slide piece here. Both sides. Now I'll get kind of the inside of the slide. Getting all the excess, trying to wipe down the cleaner that I'd sprayed on there. Now I get the inside walls. Now, before I go further into this video, I will tell you, even though it's not recommended, not quite sure why, but you see the Q-tips off to the side here. I do like to use Q-tips just to get any of the crevices that my fingernails are unreachable to get. I've never had a problem with it. I've continued to use my same method on all of my firearms and haven't had any malfunctions or anything of that nature. This isn't a full detailed clean, of course. That I'll do once every about 6 months or so. I'll take the firearms completely apart. I've only had to do it once. All of my firearms are fairly young. Shot a lot of times, but it's a hobby that I really enjoy, so figure take advantage of the good time and while you're practicing to get better, and have a blast doing it. What I'm doing, I'm kind of, if you see the excess dirt here, I'm using my fingernail again, wrapped around the towel, getting inside the little pieces, inside the slide. That's where things will build up on you if you don't get a good clean in here. Still wipe down the outside a little more. What I like doing is doing the cleaning on all the parts first, and then I'll go over a little dab of oil in crucial spots that I feel is needed. All right, now here's where my Q-tips will come in. And the most important thing with your Q-tip, if you do choose to use it, just make sure you're not leaving any of the fragments from the Q-tip left behind inside your gun. Definitely wouldn't want anything to happen there when you go fire your gun the next time. But this just kind of helps me get the areas where my fingers are not able to exactly detail the way I want. There we go. Get this section here. Now what I do like to do, if you notice, if I push this down here, I won't do it. So if there's a little pin that's ever sticking out right here, the little firing pin, all you got to do is take this piece here, slide it back. That'll flatten everything out here. That way you can get your Q-tip and just get a good little clean in there. Okay, now that I've done with that piece, set it to the side. Now I'll start off with the towel again. If my towel isn't too bad, I'll just keep using the same towel. No sense in getting a brand new towel every time. You know that your first wipe down is going to be not exactly clean, so you're not looking for the white towel surface once you're done wiping it down. And again, I'm just going to kind of get it through all the grooves that my fingers are able to when I'm wiping it down. Get the little sliders here. I'll wipe down the inside. Oops. And I'll just kind of get in here where the magazine slides in. The outside. Now the outside we'll do a little more in detail once we get everything all put back together. Okay, on this again, I'm going to use the Q-tip, and I'm sure I'll get a few bad comments there on why I shouldn't do that, but I've been doing it since the beginning, and as you can see, it helps me get areas that my fingers are not able to quite reach. So until I have any type of malfunction or problem, I'll continue doing this the way I feel necessary. And like I said, out of my pistols, this one's shot more than most of them, and from what I hear about Glock, even over 8,800 rounds is still pretty much a break-in process. Anywhere I'm able to fit my Q-tip, I'm basically just trying to fit it in to clean. Kind of run it off the top here, go down in the sides, especially the inside right here. All right, so once I get done using the Q-tip, I'll once again just kind of go over with the towel. Get a little excess. I'm gonna eyeball it a little bit, make sure I didn't have any parts of the Q-tip get stuck on any of the little hangers inside. And that's it. And so what I'm gonna do here, I'll grab another Q-tip. You don't want to oil your gun too much, especially a Glock. They like to have them dry. So I'll put a little dab here on the end of the Q-tip. And what I'll do is just get the little portions that affect with the slide. Just get those areas here. Now I'll get to the slide. Same thing, I'm just going to run it up one side, down the other, and I'll get some of the little spots that I know the barrel's going to be tapping into. Definitely don't want to put oil down where the firing pin is though. I used to do it, hadn't had any problems, but the more I had learned, the more I'd realized that was probably not the best route to go. And the barrel, now this is personal choice here. They say a barrel you shouldn't put oil on the inside because of debris, which I choose to put very little. What I'll do is I'll take a dry towel, put it in the little Glock piece here, and I'll put a little dab on each side. And then once I do that, I'll just slide it into the barrel, run it back and forth a couple of times here, do my little spin on the way back, do one more. Now I'll take that same towel with just the little dabs of oil, and I'll just go ahead and do a little bit of the outside of the barrel. Again, the pieces that are going to rack up against the slide. The barrel, of course, that slides through the slide. And then that's it. So now I'm going to go ahead and put it back together. So I'll go ahead and throw the barrel in first. I'm going to take the recoil spring, set it on the inside, push it in. Now with the Glocks, I should have pointed that out. So the Glocks, you have two little hooks right here. You're going to want to go down to the bottom little hook here. I call it a hook, but the resting point. The bottom one is where you want your Glock recoil spring to sit. So I'm going to set it in, make sure it's nice in there. Got it there. I'm going to take this piece, put it back together, and voila, slide it a few times. I'm going to put it in a safe direction, fire it out, and then just finish the little wipe down here. You can choose to oil the outside if you'd like to. I seldom do. This time I pretty much had enough oil on the portions of the gun that I felt was crucial, so I go ahead and leave it at that. Just get a few of the little pieces here within the trigger, the outside. Get the front of your barrel here, the slide. And then that's it. So that is cleaning the Glock 26. If you have any questions at all, go ahead and send me a message, and I'll try to reply as soon as I can. All right? Have a great day, everybody.